Hi, welcome to Community Hotline. My name is Monica Weitzel. We're here in Gresham at MetroEast Community Media. We're here showcasing nonprofits that are doing great things in the community. And to start off tonight, we are going to be talking with the Gresham Center for the Arts. They are promoting their Third Thursdays program. And here to present is Cindy Passananti from the Gresham Center for the Arts. And the guest for the next show, which is Michael C. Smith. And you're a percussionist with the Portland Columbia Symphony. Mm-hmm. Nice to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
So I did a little checking on you. You do a whole lot more than just the Portland Columbia Symphony. So yeah. I want to talk to you about that. But Cindy, maybe you could give us just a brief rundown for anybody who has missed you on a previous appearance as to what the Center for the Arts is about and the Third Thursdays program.
Well, Center for the Arts is the foundation that really promotes and helps people and artists communicate with the community. And we bring on, in the summer, we have Music Mondays. It's a free opportunity for music groups to play at the plaza.
And for people to come and dance.
Come and dance and play in the water fountains and enjoy the music. During the winter, we do the Third Thursday Studios. And this is where we bring kind of a different artist and venue every month, so that it's like sitting in the living room and visiting with an author, a storyteller last month. Michael is here to talk about percussions and how the sounds make your body feel. And then next month we'll have the two gentlemen that started White Bird, the dance company. Right. So that's going to be very exciting.
You've had a real variety.
We try to hit the different venues that art takes on so many different forms. Mm-hmm. From last year we had an animator that talked about how to, he started animation through the computers. Mm-hmm. And worked with Disney, Walt Disney, and a lot of pictures. We've had a sculpturist who made things out of junk. And the junk. And that was exciting. So each one is a different production, and we hope people will come out and take the opportunity to meet these different forms.
And I went to my first one, this last one, which was Will Horniak, this professional storyteller. It was so fun. We had, there was wine, there's a little hors d'oeuvres there, and you feel like you're in your own living room, and you just have some friends over.
And the other thing is that it's at the Gresham Historical Museum. If you haven't been in there, it's a great time to kind of wander around that building and
I'd watch
find
this
all the
guy.
cool
He might
stuff.
be taking some of those things and making music.
Well, we were a little worried when our sculpturist came, because he kept going, "Wow, these are really cool stuff." And but it's just got a whole array of really wonderful things that are related to our area.
Good deal. So Michael, you are the percussionist.
Yes.
So a percussionist, that's not just drums, it's all sorts of things. Tell us what your background is as far as your musical background. You've done this since you were 2 or just started last year?
Well, I actually started drumming when I was in like 5th grade. Mm-hmm. And I played snare, in my little band. Did
you have a band? Do you have a band in your garage or basement?
That was I think actually rock and roll. I think Nirvana came out when I was in junior high, and we were playing drums in the. We're actually
like Teen Spirit and all that good stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember.
But it was funny because we were all drummers, So like one of us
would
try to play guitar. We tried to play guitar, but we didn't know. We knew like 2 chords, So now I know a lot more guitar chords. But
so you can do that too.
But so I did percussion, and I was mostly a drummer, and then I started focusing on jazz drumming, and I was going to go to the University of Oregon and audition. And you have to audition into the percussion program there. And so I started taking lessons and learning some etudes, and I had always, because percussion, when you play classical percussion, you have not only non-pitched percussion instruments, but you have pitched percussion instruments like bells and xylophone and marimba, timpani, these types of things. And I avoided them like the plague. I hated them. Yeah, it was, well, for one, I really couldn't read melodic music even when I was in high school. And so when I started taking lessons in high school to prepare for my audition for University of Oregon, I started, learning an etude, and on this really junky marimba that my high school had where I grew up. And then when I went to my audition at the University of Oregon with Charles Dowd, who was my first percussion teacher, I played on this enormous marimba, and I'd never seen one. And I actually fell in love with the marimba in my audition at University of Oregon.
You finally had a good instrument to play
yeah,
on.
because
It
I'd
makes a
never seen
difference,
it.
huh?
It was a $10,000 7-foot.
You didn't
marimba.
have one of those at home. Huh?
Yeah, and now I do. I've got two.
Hey, all right, all right.
I've got too many, and I build marimbas, and I build lots of different instruments. And
Where do you build them? Do you build them out of your home? Do you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've got a little shop, and I make triangles. I make wind chimes. I make box drums and things like that. And I make marimbas.
So you are a musician by profession and a maker of musical
instruments.
Yeah.
And then I also compose for documentaries and film.
And I saw that. I was curious about that. How do you get into that?
Actually, I started composing for marimba mainly, and I have a lot of friends that decided to become editors and directors and things like that, and they would take my CDs and kind of slip them into the editing rooms, and and eventually, people would approach me either when I was playing or somehow my music would get pushed into a film or a documentary, and it just slowly started happening. I wasn't really looking
People
forward to
heard it and liked it, said, hey, for mine, I want that guy.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny, the last documentary, marimba's my main thing, but which is a big wooden-barred xylophone, if you don't know what that is.
And marimba's fun music.
Such a good
really
instrument.
fun music. It makes people want to get up and dance.
Yes, it's such a beautiful instrument. Yeah. And but the last documentary I worked on, I actually wrote a piece on marimba, and then I sent it to the editor, and they went to put it in, and the editor just called me back and said, "We can't put this in. I'm not even going to show the director. She doesn't want marimba at all." And I was like, So I had to.
Really?
I play piano, and so I rearranged it for piano, guitar, and percussion, and the piece that I wrote.
It's not a marimba type documentary, is it?
Yeah. Well, it was on the Camino de Santiago. The film is called Walking the Camino, and it's a very cool documentary. I don't know if you've heard of it, but
yeah,
it's produced
actually
locally.
I have. Yeah.
So I got to compose 5 pieces for that film.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Impressive. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Very cool.
So is that what you support yourself with mostly? Is your composing? Can you make a living doing that?
Composing, you can.
Yeah.
I don't. It's probably only a quarter of my income. Yeah. Most of my income, and this is going to sound crazy, but I play marimba. Well, a big part of my playing, I play marimba at the airport.
Oh,
at
do
the
you?
PDX airport, 4 days a week for thousands and thousands and thousands of people.
I know more and more airports are doing that now. They're having the live music, but I have never been at the airport when anybody's been playing. Of course, I'm on red eye.
It helps reduce the stress.
Yeah, people come to
I'm
me.
sure.
Thank you.
I have a friend who plays. He's from New Orleans. He's a jazz musician from New Orleans, and he used to play at the airport down there. I was like, really? Yeah. I think that's great. I mean, it'd make it a lot more pleasant, especially if you have a layover or didn't make your flight.
It helps.
Yeah. So what's your favorite part of is it performing? Is it composing? Is it making the instruments? What do you like best?
Everything. Teaching too, and I get to teach a marimba class. I teach a marimba class at Riverdale Grade School, and that's over in Dunthorpe. It's near Lake Oswego, and but I made these marimbas, and they're the marimbas that a lot of groups are playing on in Portland are diatonic, meaning they only have the white keys, so they only play in one key. And they had this huge set of these, at the school when I went over there to do a marimba clinic, to try to get some students and things when I moved into the area. And I said, hey, can I teach a class? And I taught one class, and the kids, tons of kids signed up, for it. They wanted to play marimba, and it got so popular, that it just kind of kept growing and growing. But I kept asking the kids, hey, what do you want to play? And so tomorrow night we're playing Taylor Swift, and we're playing Meghan Trainor, and on marimba, playing all about that bass on this huge bass marimba. And the girl playing bass, she's going to be dancing around, and she's got a bass solo.
That's a fun song anyway. So
yeah, it's super fun.
So you don't stick to just classical music at all, do you?
No, and yeah, I mean, at the airport, one of my last CDs, I got a grant through Kickstarter, arts funding website, and recorded my versions of the Nutcracker Suite, the Vivaldi's Winter Concerto, and Yesujira Mezzoziring. And so I'll play that, and I have a PA system, and I play the bottom three parts. I might play some of that in the presentation, but
on third
but then
Thursday.
I also
On third Thursday.
On third Thursday.
Yes.
And and then I also play Louis Armstrong and the Beatles and Radiohead and Elliott. I released an Elliott Smith record.
So you're all over the place.
So,
that makes it more fun, doesn't it?
It makes it more accessible.
Yeah,
You've got something for
something for everybody.
For everybody.
Yeah, the little teeny boppers up to the grandpas
to the classical.
Yeah, that's fun.
Folks.
That's great. That's great.
Try to appeal to everybody.
So this event that you're going to be doing, have you ever done anything like this before, where you actually talking to this little small group like this and talk? I mean, are you talking about your? You're not performing. I mean, maybe a little bit of performing, but what do you plan to talk about?
Well, I mean, it's kind of how the beat moves you, and so it's going to be more of the history of rhythm, and the history of which is the history of music, basically, because the human voice obviously is the first musical instrument, but then percussion, and hitting things, slowly, came after that, and flutes and things like that. But most historians kind of put percussion as like the first, instrument.
And you have some fun things.
And I have some fun things.
Maybe you could show us that. I imagine people didn't always start with a nice drum set. So show us some of these things that you brought here.
So I brought a plethora of things here. So this is probably the most interesting thing. We'll come back to this here in a second.
Okay.
This is, and one of the first instruments, it was probably a marimba or somebody striking a piece of wood, maybe a hollow piece of wood. This is a marimba bar that I've tuned, and I don't know if the cameras can see this, but it's tuned by taking wood off different parts of the wood, and you actually tune it to the note that way.
Wow.
So you use a special type of sander, oscillating spindle sander, to take the wood off.
That's a beautiful piece of wood,
and,
too.
This is Paduk. My classical marimba is made out of Honduran rosewood, which is a little more expensive. But has a better sound.
Get what you pay for, huh?
Yeah, exactly. But the first marimba was probably just, set on some sticks, a board set on some sticks over a hole in the ground. And, and we've taken it quite a ways, So now we've got, tuned bars. We use a specific kind of wood. And we actually, instead of having a hole in the ground, we built a specific hole, to put the marimba over. And Cindy's going to help me out here for a second.
Show us how this
So
works.
let me show you how this works. So the hole or the resonator works to help the vibration and the amplification of the sound. So I'm going to just play the bar by itself.
Okay.
And so that's what it sounds like, just without the tube. And now I'm going to play it and slowly move it in front of the tube here.
Feel
pick that up.
Yeah.
You feel it in your chest.
Yes.
So you think of my marimba. Thank you, Cindy. So my marimba has 51 of these keys and 51 tubes.
Wow.
And then I play with, 2 mallets in each hand, so I can play 4 notes. So it's basically like having a big, huge 51 drum set, and you want to hit the bar right in the middle. So 51 drums this size, that you're playing with 4 sticks.
Wow.
So that's how I kind of describe the instrument.
That's very fun. We've only got a couple minutes left, so I want to see this
Jawbone
and this.
or this. This.
We got.
Okay, so this is a triangle. This is something that I've made. It's brass and let me just. So it has a really pretty sound. It's got a bunch of different frequencies. With the marimba, we want just one tone. Okay. With the triangle, the better they are, the more frequencies they have, packed into one note. So when you hit it, it has this spectrum of all these notes happening all at the same time. Because if you had a triangle and it was, say, an A, and the whole orchestra was playing an A sharp, it would sound terrible.
Yeah, it'd be a
so
little
you hit the triangle and it like has all these different pitches. Nice. And this is a jawbone, or this is an instrument made of an animal. This is a donkey jaw. It's also called a quijadas, and it's a South American instrument. And we've written it into a lot of contemporary percussion music, and now it's written into a lot of different pieces. But it's actually the teeth and all of the skin have been removed by some sort of acid, probably. I'm not sure. But it's actually struck with the hand like this, and the teeth rattle and make kind of a. You've probably seen those little things with the ball, and you hit them, and it goes. That's actually trying to sound like an actual jawbone. Nice. So.
Yeah, not everybody has a jawbone in there.
Not everybody has a jawbone. Yeah.
So we're just about out of time. So the event that you're going to be at is March 19th, correct?
March 19th at the Gresham Historical Museum on, Main Street and 4th.
Main Street, yeah.
Main Street and 4th. The doors open at 6:30. Everyone's welcome to come. You can buy your tickets at the door. We have complimentary wine and snacks. And a lovely evening with Michael.
I think it'll be great fun.
He's going to tell everything about it, and he's going to bring some instruments that people can
God only
practice
knows
a little bit.
what you're going to bring.
So it'll be great fun. So
what
I
body parts from some
exactly.
prehistoric animal. Thank you very much, Michael, for being here. Thank you, Cindy, for arranging this. Sounds like fun, so I'm going to try to make it too.
All right.
I enjoyed the last one. I think it'll be great. So thank you for watching this first segment of Community Hotline. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you want more information, we'll have the information on the screen as to how you can get your tickets, and you too can see Michael C. Smith at the Third Thursdays. I'm Monica Weitzel.
What local community media is to us is literally our lifeline to what's going on in the lives around us.
The absolute most important thing that happens in your neighborhood.
People's local communities are usually what's most important to them.
Because we're the faces, the smiles, the peoples, and the personalities of the community.
To not only give people a voice, but to have their voice heard.
Local government is a very important part of our daily lives. You might think the decisions that affect us most are made in Washington, D.C., but frequently what happens at the local level has the biggest impact. Safe and clean streets and parks, local ballot measures to ensure funding for police, these are just a few of the issues that matter most. At MetroEast, we provide gavel-to-gavel coverage of local government so you can see what's happening in your East County cities. Watch city councils, planning commissions, and school boards on these cable channels or online.
It's time to address a few facts about the state of Oregon. It's common knowledge that Portland is ranked among the most creative and innovative workforces in the country, and Portland ranks second among all U.S. cities in volunteer hours. But here's something you may not know.
Oregon has the 4th worst graduation rate in the nation.
But together, we can change that.
Big Brothers Big Sisters has a solution.
We know that children succeed when they feel loved, safe, and connected.
So we need meaningful relationships outside the classroom.
To close the achievement gap, we must first close the relationship gap.
Together, we can. Graduation is a big deal.
By supporting Big Brothers Big Sisters, you can help our children find the meaningful relationships they need to finish high school strong.
You want some tips? I got some tips for you. I'm the county health officer. I got some tips. You ready? Don't do that. Do not do that. That is not what you... Bad. That is bad. This is what you want. You ready? Here's my tip. Did you notice that form? Look at that. I block the sneeze into the elbow, not the hand. The hand, bad. Hi, nice to meet you. You don't want to shake this hand. This hand is getting in the way of your health. Much better. Have a good flu season.
Hi, and welcome to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel, and we're here at MetroEast Community Media in Gresham, Oregon. Tonight, we're going to be talking with Hands of Favor, an organization that serves the Portland and Vancouver area. And with us representing Hands of Favor is the Executive Director, Derek Thompson. Thanks for being here, Derek.
Thanks for having me.
So we met at another event, a fundraiser, a while back, and got to talking and found out there was a lot of things that we kind of saw eye to eye on. Mm-hmm. And I met Regina. She was with you, and I was really interested about the way that you go about your ministry or your work that you do with the people that need help. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about what your mission is at Hands of Favor, and then kind of we can work into how you go about finding people to serve.
I'll say it like this: the mission started out as simply taking haircuts and salon services around to different communities and using it as a tool, a motivational tool to lift up people who were in, I call it like down situations. And that means whether they were at-risk youth, whether they were at-risk adults, people coming back from maybe jail, off of drugs, unwed mothers, battered women, anybody who needed
down.
a lift up. And it was just a way to help them restore some dignity back into their lives, some self-confidence, some more positive sense of self-worth.
And it does do that.
And it does
I love going to get my hair cut. Because you feel better, you feel like you look better, and it gives you more confidence in yourself.
I'm glad you said that, because when people recognize how they feel with that, and I mean people like you and me who maybe can go and get these things done regularly, then you take someone who can't, or maybe has never had that done, or has had that done and can't do it anymore, how they must feel when they get to go through that again.
They don't look their best. They know, and so then they don't feel their best, and then and it makes it hard for you to get out there and put yourself out there. Maybe if you're trying to find a job or something like that.
Exactly.
Trying to get back on your feet.
Exactly.
Yeah. So how did you come about? This obviously was your background. You were a hairstylist.
Right. I was a hairstylist and cosmetology instructor for quite a few years, and it's not something that I planned on doing as far as a nonprofit. Yeah. My idea after I retired was just to go around to schools, because I found out that where I live in Clark County, that there are 23,000 children in the elementary school system just in Clark County itself, and 11,000 of them qualified for reduced lunch. And that spoke a lot to me, plus the fact that a lot of my clients were teachers. And so we talked about those things a lot during my career. And when I retired, I thought, well, I would just go around to the schools, see if the administrators would maybe possibly make some room for me to go around once in a while and cut some of the children's hair. Then I met some people. I met somebody, happened to be actually a commissioner over in Clark County, and he referred me to another person, an organization that is, it's called 911, if I can, Ministry 911, if I can mention their name. What they are, they're a faith-based nonprofit organization that their sole purpose is to help other nonprofit faith-based organizations get started. And
so they kind of gave you a little hand there.
Yeah, it just happened, because I never expected to do that. And when it came about, it's like, wow, okay, so, and we've been doing it now for about a year, and I think we're in our year and 5th month now.
Wow. You know, I think that's the way most good things happen, is it's word of mouth and somebody telling somebody else and you working together and collaborating, and that's how, you know, that's how the best things happen.
Oh, I love it. I'm thankful for it. And if I may add, before I forget, we were talking about how it makes people feel. Another aspect or benefit of it too that I think a lot of people don't think about is it also, when those same people that we're talking about, that we're helping to motivate, to lift up, to help to restore a little bit of dignity. And I might add, we do that along with other organizations, because we are not a standalone organization, but we are what I call a plug-in organization, because we can fit in with very, very many kind of different organizations. But it also will help the same people. An example I like to use is people sitting in front of a storefront asking for money, or we see people on the streets, you know, and we tend to look over and whatnot. Those very same people, we don't know their stories, we don't know where they came from, we don't know their potential.
Right.
And we don't look at them, or we don't look at them right. But if they look like you and me, then we look at them a little bit differently too. And that is another positive aspect of it too. So there is no, everything about it is a benefit.
That's great. Hey, that's a good thing. So you brought some pictures, I believe, and I want to show those because you can kind of see how people are reacting to some of what you've done. So tell us what we're looking at here.
This one, if I recall right, this one, there's an organization called Compassion Connect, and I believe that they're national now. And they're a conglomeration of churches that pool their resources, and I don't just mean financial, I just mean resources in whatever way they can.
Time,
right, exactly.
money, whatever.
And this was, we were partnered with Compassion Southwest, this was out there at Wilson High School. And as you can see, the young lady right there, she's, if I recall right, that was a family, and they were having a hard time.
As families do.
Making it by, and you can look at the expression on the young lady's face, how she looks, seeing herself in the mirror, and having gotten a professional job, because that's another thing that we do. We treat people just like as if they were paying $35, $40, $50. We always do that. This one was Compassion North, held at Roosevelt High School last year, as a matter of fact. This was only the second time, if I recall, that this young man ever got a professional haircut. Cute little thing too. Oh, this one I love. This one I love. This one was just last Christmas at Salvation Army North in Portland. Santa Cuts is what they call. They do that event once a year. And if I like to add, 2001 is when I first ever volunteered to do anything like this, and it was at Salvation Army North.
So the one on
Killingsworth. And that was the first one I ever did it with, and to have come back around full circle and to do these with them now. And matter of fact, we just are partnering with them. We're going to be doing it there monthly at Salvation Army North. But those, just expression on these young ladies' faces when they got this done, and the ladies in the background helping us were Paul Mitchell's school in downtown Portland.
Great. Get some experience there, and that's wonderful. She looks like, I'm beautiful, doesn't she have that kind of look on her face? Yeah, she is.
Exactly.
She certainly
is. That's why I like
the
without me even saying anything, the expressions, I can't even explain it the way the expressions explain.
Tell me about some people that you've worked with. Have you had women, men who have come in and really been down, and you really can see the effect they have, not just kids, but adults?
Yes, That young man right there.
Okay. Yeah.
And all I did was cut all his hair off, but he came in very standoffish, maybe almost with a bad attitude. But we approach people, not just professionally, but we approach people because we genuinely care. We genuinely love people. And matter of fact, it's very important to all of our volunteers that if you must have a heart, you must love people, you must care about people. And because they can, you're sitting in their chair, they've invited into their personal space, they can feel it if it's real or not real.
Yeah.
And just because of that, you can look at the look on that young man's face. He was almost flabbergasted, like, wow, somebody cares about me.
That's a good feeling. On both ends.
On both ends. Oh, it gets us. I mean, sometimes, you know,
I can imagine.
There's a few of those.
I can imagine. So you have a couple things coming up that you're going to be doing. And you told me earlier that you try to do things on a monthly basis if you can, because it brings consistency and stability to somebody's life when they know that they can keep coming to you. So there's a Dress for Freedom, which is something that's not open to the public, but it's, you said, for foster kids, is that?
Foster girls.
Foster girls, okay.
Ages 12 to 18 years old. Unfortunately, that one is only done on a yearly basis, but it's done, it serves quite a few young ladies when it does. We expect, at the meeting of the day, I think they said, we expect 100 girls this year. We had 85 of them last year.
So are there other groups there doing other things at the same time?
Oh, yeah. There's, like I say, it's a complete day for those girls, and it's not just a couple hours, it's a complete day for the girls. I forget what time we start in, but it's quite a few hours that we do it. You know, it's night.
You're tired at the end of the day,
It's night
I'm sure.
when we leave. You know what? I never get tired because helping people, you never get tired.
Yeah, it just
rejuvenates you. But we do complete head-to-toe makeovers on them. We do haircuts, we do hairstyles, we do makeup. They get, as we said, gently used formal clothing for the girls, seamstresses on site.
So they're getting ready for a big event?
It's not even for a big event. It's just so they can feel like princesses, because that's what last year I remember a couple of them said they felt like princesses. The two little girls that I spoke of to you some time ago, that their teachers said they couldn't sit still in school because they were still talking so much about it. She said they felt like princesses.
And how often do you get to feel like a princess? That's pretty special. That's pretty special.
You know, but as a matter of fact, we had 85 girls and we had almost 90 volunteers, and I like to add that part in too.
Wow. And that was going to be one of my next questions. So you do have a need for volunteers. Who can volunteer, and what kinds of things can people do?
Anybody can volunteer. I'm glad you asked the question, what kind of things people can do. With our organization, naturally we want hairstylists and barbers and makeup artists. They don't have to be professional because they're not getting paid. They have to know how to do it. In other words, that's why we have some, you saw a couple of students on there from Paul Mitchell, and we're trying to get with Paul Mitchell. But people just,
some people have
all you have to do,
it.
they have a talent for it, but all you have to do is care and want to help. Why I say that? Because many times there are hosts, there are hostesses, there are greeters. Many times just the heart to be able to touch these people, because remember, a lot of these people seriously don't even get touched. To be able to put your hand on their shoulder or to give them a hug, to smile at them, to say hi, that goes a long way. You would be surprised. You have to be there. Matter of fact, I'll invite you to some.
Okay.
You have to be there to really see just what the presence of other people
and being
does to these people, and being acknowledged, because that's about being
peers.
acknowledged as somebody who doesn't put you down, who sees you as their peer, their equal.
Right.
It's so important. So I mean, it's.
So you
never know
might
what you
be
can
somebody
volunteer
that's,
for.
you know, we ran out of this, will you run to the store and get that? Or will you just let that person over there know this? Or you greet these people coming in? Just, I mean, there's a need for volunteers. And you have a Facebook page, and is that a good place for people to go to get in contact with you?
I encourage people to go to our Facebook page because it's constantly being updated.
Yeah, you have some great pictures.
Yeah, every time we do one, they're immediately updated. So you can always see what we do, you can see what we have done. Plus the fact that there's just a lot of, I like to say, it's an uplifting page. I like to say it like that. It's an inspirational page. We also, we had a website, I took it down, it's being rebuilt right now. As a matter of fact, the web builder just talked to me this evening, and it should be published by Monday.
So, nice. Good deal. I'll watch for that. Tell me about the WOW.
WOW is a new one. It's under the umbrella of an organization called, I want to make sure I get it right, Quest Integrated Health Systems.
Okay.
They're an organization located in Portland, and they're part of Adventist Health, as a matter of fact, and I think a lot of us have heard of Adventist Health. And their purpose at first was to take in women who are HIV positive and help them take control of their lives. That became successful, and like a lot of organizations, they evolve. Now it has evolved into helping just men and women in that situation, but also men and women, again, who have fallen into a hole, who have taken a misstep in life. The next event we do with them, as a matter of fact, they were just asking if we would not be opposed to taking in outside people. They even want to help people who don't even belong to the organization. So that one will be open to the public as well, and we will be serving men and women. We even did a couple of girls, little daughters the other day. So we don't discriminate culture, color, age, or anything like that. If you have a need,
you're there.
We'll,
you're there. We're just about out of time, so I want to reiterate that WOW. And what does WOW stand for?
Women of Wonder.
Women of Wonder, I like that. And that's April 23rd. It's at 2901 East Burnside from 4 to 6 p.m. So you'll be coming to Salvation Army North on Killingsworth, or right off Killingsworth.
We're
there.
Salvation Army North. We also do monthly with Friends of the Carpenter in Vancouver, Open House Ministries in Vancouver monthly, SAFES, which is downtown Portland. It's called Salvation Army Female Emergency Shelter. We do that monthly. And I'm probably leaving out some.
Then we'll go to your Facebook page.
Yes.
And that's the way you Thank you, Jerry, very much. So thank you for being here tonight. And I love the way you're getting into to helping people, starting with
My
a
pleasure.
haircut.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, doing good work. Thanks for watching this segment of Community Hotline. Do be sure to check out the Facebook page. They're always having something new on there and doing amazing work. So you check out Hands of Favor. And we'll be right back with more of Community Hotline.
Have you ever wanted to create a TV show of your own? Come check out the basic editing class at MetroEast. Our trainers will give you the skills you need to flex your creative muscles. Using our state-of-the-art IMAX and Final Cut Pro 10, you can work with your own videos, add graphics and music, and even drop in cool special effects like green screen and slow motion. The best part? No experience is required. All ages and skill levels are welcome. Find out more on our website at metroeast.org.
My favorite thing about community media is how people find their voice and tell their story.
It's the message of, by, and for a community.
We're a gathering place because it gets people of all sorts of different backgrounds underneath one roof.
It's art, it's technology.
A snapshot of our community.
Going live.
In 3, 2, 1.
In 1977, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. the odds of that same boy then making it to the US and European pro golf tours, 1 in 7 million. The odds of the Big Easy winning the US Open twice, 1 in 1.2 billion. The odds of him having a child diagnosed with autism, 1 in 88. Ernie Els encourages you to learn the signs of autism.
Lead paint poisoning affects 1 million children today. If you're pregnant or have young children and your home was built before 1978, you could be at risk. Learn how to protect your family. To find your home's danger zones, the health effects, or just to find help, log on to leadfreekids.org.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who take action are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making home affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
That's it? That's it. Oh, hey, did you see that? Did you see that? You know what that was? That was the flu shot. That was the flu shot. You know what that means, don't you? The flu shot means my white cells are getting ready to roll for this winter. My white cells are ready to say, hey, bring it on, flu, we're ready for you. That's the flu shot. You know what that means? That means my chance of going to get the flu this year just dropped. It also means my chance of seeing a doctor just dropped as well. You know what else it means? It means my daughter and my parents, they're not gonna probably get the flu from me. I feel great! Have you gotten your flu shot?
I love my bus driver because they never get annoyed when I need help finding my destination.
I love my bus driver because they can do things with a bus that no other human can do.
Because he is awesome. He's a pastor, he gives me spiritual guidance, plus he gets me there on time when he goes to his routes.
They're good people. I love them. I don't know what I'd do without them.
Hi, welcome to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel, and we're here at Gresham at MetroEast Community Media. And tonight we're talking with a nonprofit who has been in the community for a while, has done wonderful things, and is in a bit of a plight. And we are going to hear about what's going on, so see if maybe we can help out. Tonight we're going to be talking with My Sister's House. With My Sister's House, Becky Coleman, the director and founder. Thanks for being here, Becky.
Thank you for having me, Monica.
Always a pleasure to have you here. And Penny Sipe, you are the administrative assistant.
Fancy title.
And there's a relationship here, I believe. There's
yes,
mother,
Becky
daughter.
is my mom.
Yes. Lovely, lovely. Well, if you're as nice as Becky, then you're welcome here anytime.
Thank you very much.
So, My Sister's House has been around for how long now?
A little over 10 years.
10 years. Okay. Why don't you tell, for somebody who may not know what you do, tell us what the mission is of My Sister's House and what you do there.
Our mission is to help women with children who've suffered domestic violence or abuse. We want to help them recreate their lives.
I like that, recreate their lives. So it's not just a shelter, it's a whole lot more. So you're not just giving them a little handout, it's you're helping them through education,
yes,
support, peer support, and And you also help them, don't you, to either get into school or a job?
Yes.
Or encourage
Yes.
that? And
Most of the women who come to the house are on state support. And so with that comes the Work Source program through the state. And so they do look for work, and if that doesn't work out, then they get into Mount Hood does a transitions program.
Right.
And so they're able to go there for that, or they take a specialized class that WorkSource will always provide for them. And so they can get like a little certificate for some quick education, and then they can get out and get a job.
That's great. And I think it's probably a lot easier for someone to go back to school or to go get a job if they know they have the support at home.
Right.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, you know, if you're a single mom by yourself trying to make it, and it's just you and your child, or if there's a situation at home that's really uncomfortable or dangerous or anything else, it would be very difficult to try to keep a job, to get it in the first place and keep a job, or to go to school and try to maintain that.
It's important for these women when they come to my sister's house to first feel safe and feel secure, and then I'll look over their shoulder, and it usually takes at least 2 or 3 months for that to happen, get into a structured routine. Then they can start thinking about what am I going to do with my life, where's my future going, how can I provide for my family. And that's where we set goals so that they can work toward that purpose.
And about how long do the women stay there? Does it vary?
Yes.
It varies widely. You know, we used to say between 6 months to 18 months, and it has varied even further than that. We've got a family that's been there, golly, since I think more than 2 years.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes. She has twins, if I think you're thinking, and they were 6 months old when they came in. And she was
the only home they've ever known.
Yes.
Is
Really?
my
Yes.
sister's house.
Wow.
Yes.
And how great that you were there for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're a
Yes.
blessing.
Yeah, they're really fun. I walk into daycare in the mornings and we sing songs all the way there. It's really
Oh,
fun.
how
Yeah, they
fun.
call me Grandma.
Oh,
Yeah.
you have all sorts of grandchildren,
I know,
don't
yeah.
you?
Really fun.
Yeah.
So what's going on with my sister's house now? You called me one day and you were upset, and
Yes.
there's
Little anxiety going on.
So what's going on?
Well, the property that we've operated from ever since inception is being sold. And so
and you're not able to buy it.
well, we don't have any money.
We're trying.
You know,
Details.
we're
We're trying everything we can, but
Yes.
yeah, that's
Yes.
what we're running up against.
So what's your plan?
Well, we've launched a capital campaign. It started last Saturday, I believe it was.
The 21st?
Yeah, at
Burgerville?
Burgerville. That's where we launched it.
Right.
We have a GoFundMe account, and we have PayPal on our website for people to make donations.
Okay, so if somebody wants to make a donation, if they've heard about it or they believe in what you're doing,
Yes.
they can just go to your. Do you have a website? And a Facebook page
And
too?
a Facebook page.
And there's links there, I
There's
assume?
links.
Yes, yeah, it's
Okay.
both under My Sister's House. I believe the website is actually mysistershouseoregon.org.
Yeah, yeah.
And Facebook just as My Sister's House, and the GoFundMe My Sister's House Oregon.
Okay, okay. And if you Google My Sister's House, you find it. I
Oh,
know,
yes.
because sometimes I
Yes.
forget what the actual website
Especially
is.
lately.
Right.
Yeah, you know, and the more you do it, the more it
Yes.
pops right up.
Yes.
So what do you hope to accomplish if you get this money, or, you know, what are you going to do? Are you hoping to buy the place? Are you hoping to use it to go someplace else? What's your plan?
Well, that's still kind of up in the air. We definitely, it's easier to stay where you're at.
Yes, I know.
But some of the board has been looking at other properties, and so there's that option as well.
So you're trying to get the money and then figure out what you can do depending on how much you have. And,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if we can share how much they're asking. Probably not.
Yeah,
but
it's not something. I mean,
it's
something
less
you're
than
asking.
market value. Let's put that at that. It's less than market value, and we could really, come up with realistically a third of it. That would be great through our campaigns.
Okay.
And,
so there's hope.
and there's hope.
There is hope. There's
Yeah.
always hope.
There's always hope.
And a whole
That's
lot
good.
of
I like
faith.
that attitude. There's
Yes.
always hope.
There's always hope.
So
Yeah.
this your campaign is called Move the Mission Forward.
Yes, move the mission forward, because that indicates that we can do the mission wherever we're going to be.
Oh, there you
and
go.
that's
and
we want
hopefully
to
you'll
keep
stay
them
where
in
you
shape.
are, because it's hard, especially like the kids that will, twins that's the only home and then have to
Yes.
uproot. That's especially for women who've had a lot of upheaval in their life already. It'd be nice to be able to stay.
Yes.
But it's a small kind of community. How many people do you have there right now living there?
Well, at the moment, we
the
have
two families with two young children and you and then
6, and my granddaughter and myself, so 8.
Okay.
Yeah, and we haven't been taking anybody else in because of the limbo situation. But that's really hurtful. You get calls every day,
and you have to say no. And that's,
I have to
that's
say
really
no.
difficult, I bet.
And there's not many places that you can even send them to when they call. We're getting 5-7 calls on average every week.
Really?
And we're trying to find, okay, well, maybe you could call this place or this place. And the fear is that when I've heard back from women that have already gone to those places that, if you have children and you're going to a shelter, I wasn't aware of this. If you have children with you, you don't stay awake all night long that whole time. Your children can be taken from you because there's no barriers on who's able to stay in that shelter with you. You could have people who are dangerous, people who would be preying upon children, and so you're leaving your children unattended by falling asleep, and so you're in terror.
Yeah.
That's not a happy situation.
No.
That's not a safe situation, not good at all. Yeah, so if women don't have a place to go who have children, or if just women don't have a place to go to be safe, then that's where they're at much greater risk.
Yes,
or going back to the situation they were in before.
Exactly, and no woman should have to choose.
No.
No woman should have to choose that, especially with young children. That's just terrible.
So what do you offer them besides? I mean, so they're there. Do you ask them to help with the housework, and they're like everybody chip in on that, or the cooking and that kind of thing?
It's a family house. She runs that place. Good grief.
Was it like when you were growing up?
Oh yes, you had your chore list, and did you take care of this? Well, you got to take care of that before you can do this.
And hold you accountable for
that.
that?
Yes, very much so. Well, and it also lets them know that they really are part of a family.
Right,
You're not
Everybody's
a guest. Got chores. You're not a guest.
Yeah.
And yet there's still family time. There's still family activities, and they eat as a family at a table. And
that's nice.
Each of the families have their own rooms for their their family, and then they've got their own cupboard space and their own, so it's
like a little commune kind of.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like a real mini commune.
Yeah.
I remember talking to you once before about how I was asking you what kinds of things you needed. At that time you weren't in the financial dire straits, but you were talking about how if somebody could babysit once in a while, that there's these women need to get out once in a while.
Yes.
They either need to go out to look for a job, go to school,
Yes.
have a life.
Yes.
Mommy time. Yes,
Yeah,
you
mommy
provide
time.
mommy time.
Yes, we do.
So
Exactly
babysitters, or perhaps like the gentleman that was just on, gives haircuts to
Oh,
people that are
yes.
that are coming out of a situation, coming out of a downtime, and they're trying to lift themselves up. They need something to help get their self-esteem back.
Yes.
What a great thing. So if somebody's able to donate some haircuts, or
Yes.
take somebody shopping, or
Yes,
something like
grocery
that.
shopping's
I know, I
always
keep
a
meaning- I
needy
keep
thing.
meaning to
We even had a lady before Christmas come in and show the girls how to make apple pie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was
And
fun.
she just
I don't know how to make an apple pie. I've
I
never
thought
made an
that
apple
was
pie in my
great.
life.
Yeah, so that was really fun for
So,
them to do.
so you still, while you're there, you still have you have those opportunities. If people
Yes.
are interested, they can contact you and see if they can help out some.
Yes.
So what else do we need to know about My Sister's House? What, Penny, you've been working on the office side of it and dealing with that. Do you think you're going to get what you need for this? I mean, I know there's hope, but
there is always hope. One thing I really got to say is that this business, if you want to call it a business, I mean, it has never made sense on paper. It's never supposed to work. It was always, what are you thinking? This is crazy. And yet here we still are over 10 years.
And that is a long time. That's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's
It's a miracle.
inspirational. So looking at the numbers, it's always still amazing to me. How is it that,
how do these people have enough to eat? And
how did we do
toilet
that this
paper,
month?
enough,
And yet every single time we've always had just enough.
Yeah.
Just enough. And it is a miracle. It's a test every month, every day, of every week to figure out how to put your trust in something that you don't have any control over.
Yeah, it is tough. That is hard. you keep in touch with a lot of the women that leave your
Oh,
program,
yes, I
don't
do.
you?
Yeah. We're Facebook buddies.
There you go.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
You want to share?
Well, two emails.
Yeah, so what do we have here?
We have two messages. Am I allowed to say their names or no?
First name.
First name?
Yeah, if they you put it, yeah.
Yeah? Okay. First message was from Sherry. She was with us 5 years ago,
Yes.
I think, 5 years ago. She says, I want to take the time to thank Becky Coleman from my sister's house for helping me find my way. I have transpired into a woman of God from a little girl trying to find her way.
Nice. That's sweet.
Nice.
Nice.
She
And
followed
5
me
years
around.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She followed me around every day for her devotion.
Yes, she did. That was
yeah.
She wouldn't let you do
and
anything
she wouldn't
else.
let me do anything else until we had it. And yeah, she was reunited with her boys.
And what a
so,
wonderful thing that must be.
And she started out, now she sells real estate. And
Great.
we're
Okay.
Facebook friends, and yeah, so it's nice to
feel
keep
good when
in
they
contact.
succeed and you know,
Yes.
and they'll let you know that they did.
Yes.
And give you
Yes.
Yes.
credit. That's
She,
great.
she said that she gathered the tools to be a wonderful mother to her children and a leader to other women that have had dealings with DHS, abusive relationships, addiction issues, and self-esteem issues. That she's turned into a beautiful butterfly from a cocoon.
That's wonderful.
sweet?
And the fact that
Hard.
they're passing that on, you know, I
Yes.
mean, that's what I love is somebody, you know, is helped up out of a situation and then they mentor somebody else or help them out of it. That's
Right.
That's the way it should
Yeah,
be.
and we had let them know on Facebook about our situation, and so they're
And-
offering
and
support. And then Heather was a student in the high school. She finished high school. She was living with her grandma at the time that she came to my sister's house, but her grandma was in senior housing and she couldn't stay there. So she came to the house and she attended school. She finished her senior year, graduated. We went to her graduation.
Oh, fun. Well, we're almost out of time, so read that so we
Okay,
can
so she
share that.
says, please come. We were talking about the event. So she says, please come to the event. Becky helped me and many others through the past 10 years, and to help her help many others, she is asking for a little help. It's true you helped me in more ways than one or even 10, and I will do whatever I can to help you.
Lovely.
Sweet.
She's full of help.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
She takes pictures. She has a photography business.
Great. That's really heartwarming to know that you've helped them and that they've, you know, gone on to do so well.
Well, and you keep those relationships. I think that's a big
And that's part of
piece.
what I think is your
Yeah.
success, is because you have a relationship. We're already out of time. That
Oh,
went
my
really
goodness.
fast, I know. But,
It did.
Yeah, but I think people get an idea of what your organization is about, your home. It's a home. So
it's a home.
if people are interested, and I hope that they are in helping save my sister's house, then they can go to your website, your Facebook page, and we'll have the information on our screen too.
That
Thank
sounds
you so
great.
much for
Thank you,
having
Penny.
us.
Thank
Thank
Becky.
you, Monica.
Thanks for watching Community Hotline. I hope you've learned something about what's going on in your community and see how you can help out too. And you come back here next week and we'll have some more fun for you. Thanks. I'm Monica Weitzel.